Hello and welcome to the NB2 Matchday 25 preview pod. Today we're going to take a look ahead at the Matchday 25 fixtures, as well as taking a little look back at what happened last weekend in Matchday 24 in NB2. So this weekend we have got 10 games to look forward to, 9 taking place on Sunday, with the Monday night game between Kecskemét and Vasas at 8 p.m. on Monday evening, which is broadcast live on the national broadcaster M4 Sports in Hungary. So the fixtures that we've got to look forward to today, we have Békés Csaba against Budaörs, Dorog against Tiszakecs, Győr against Aika, Harmadik Kerelet against St. Lawrence, Nyíregyháza against Sorokság, Pécs against DVTK, Szolnok against Csakfar. Those games all kicking off at 2 p.m. And then the two remaining Sunday games kick off at 5, and that's Budafok against Siófok and Szeged against Haladás. So before we take a look at those games in a little bit more detail, we'll also kind of look back to last weekend and match day 24, where we had some pretty big matches and big results taking place. DVTK, for example, at the top of the table, managed to come from 2-0 down at home against Szolnok, who are sitting near the bottom of the table. And they won the game 3-2. They were 2-0 down within half an hour. And as I say, got it back to win 3-2. Excuse me. So that result not only gave them the win, but with Vasas only managing a draw in the Monday night match against Siófok, DVTK are actually able to extend the lead at the top of the table by a further 2 points and are now sitting 5 points clear of Vasas after 24 matches. And looking pretty unstoppable, to be honest, as they kind of march towards an instant return to NB1. DVTK have actually only dropped 4 points out of the last available 30, so it's really hard to see them not going up. As you noticed, Vasas could only draw against Siófok, a result which kind of opened an opportunity, or well, it didn't really, because the games had taken place before, but a result that did actually allow Szeged to close the gap on them. Szeged beating Tiszakecs 4-0, a game that included 2 fantastic goals from 20-year-old forward Kristoffer Horvat, who's on loan from Torino's Primavera side. His first goal, incredible goal, kind of cutting in from the left-hand side and curling an effort around 4 Tiszakecs defenders into the top corner. Thinking that goal could hardly have been bettered, he somehow managed to do it with his second, which came as a breakaway from a Tiszakecs corner. He lobbed the Tiszakecs goalkeeper from about 35 yards out, from a position kind of wide on the right touchline. It's an incredible goal. If you get the chance, please head over to our YouTube channel, Hungary NB2, and you can check out the short video that we have of both of those goals. So obviously that result, the 4-0 victory, allied with Kecskemét suffering a second successive defeat, this time away at Csakfar, actually allowed Szeged to move into third place. So they now sit on 45 points, 1 ahead of Kecskemét and 2 behind Vasas. So, well, DVTK look as though they're going to kind of extend the lead and potentially run away with the title, or at least that promotion spot. Excuse me. The battle for second place is very much alive. There's only 3 points separating second to fourth now, and you can't really discount fifth place Haladás yet. They're still not out of it because they're only 6 points off second place. So a lot to play for in the remaining matches of the season. Taking a look now towards the bottom end of the table. There were some big results down there also. Budafok managed to win for the first time in 13 games. They won away at Dorog, a result that lifted them off the bottom of the table. Switching places with the aforementioned Tiszakecs. Aika also ended their long winless run. This time they managed to pick up a victory at home against Pécs, which sees them now sitting in 12th position in the table, fairly comfortable, but that said, they are only 4 points above the drop, so still it was a vital win. It stops a a run of 3 successive defeats, and they'll be looking to hopefully build on that win in the coming weeks, starting with this weekend's match against Dure. So that kind of leads us back into now taking a look ahead at the Matchday 25 fixtures, running through them in kind of alphabetical order. Let's take a look at them. So the first up of the 2 p.m. kickoffs, it's Békés Csaba against Budaörs. This is a right sort of relegation 6-pointer match, as we've got Békés Csaba in 16th, Budaörs in 17th place in the table, both on 25 points, and both just 2 points above the relegation zone, above Budafolk, who sit in 18th position. So it's a vital game for both of those sides to win. A result victory would obviously put them onto 28 points, which could, depending on other results, kind of see them move up to 12th position. So it's a huge game for both sides. Looking at current form, they're both 3 games without a win. Békés Csaba's defeat at St Lawrence on Sunday was their second in the last 3 games. However, they are 5 games without defeat at home, Békés Csaba. So they've got good home form, which they will obviously be looking to continue into this match against Budaörs, who have won just 1 of their last 5 games, but also have a kind of impressive current away record of only 1 defeat in the last 5 games, winning 2 matches. So it is a game of 2 very evenly matched sides, very little to choose between them. So let's see how that one plays out. Most likely a draw, but let's see. Next of the 2 p.m s, it's Dorog against Tiszakécske. So Dorog are currently sitting in 10th position in the table, but suffered a shock defeat last weekend at home to Budafolk, who were bottom of the table going into that match. Didn't really give them much hope of the win, but they did manage to pull it off. So Dorog will be looking to bounce back, pick up a win, which will get them trying to get their season back on the go again. At home, however, Dorog are averaging just 1 goal per game this season, and obviously therefore their main issue has just been finding that consistent goal threat, highlighted by the fact that the top goal scorer over the season, Lukasz Sabo, has only scored 4 goals this season, and that coming off an XG of 2.46 for those who are interested in that stat. So yeah, kind of chance creation is something that Dorog need to work on, and certainly putting those chances away. So that, although they've got the home advantage and home form has been fairly decent, this is by no means a kind of straightforward contest for them. Tiszakécske come into the game obviously in the back of the 4-0 humbling by Szeged last weekend, which put them back to the bottom of the table. But prior to that, they'd been one of the form sides in the league despite their lowly position. They'd actually managed to win a few recent matches, including the last away game, which was against kind of fellow relegation candidates at the moment, Harmadik Keralet. So I think they'll have confidence that they can go in and win the game. Against Szeged, they were underdogs despite being the home side. Szeged are in very good form at the moment. So the defeat probably not all that unexpected. This game, another that should be a very close match, which could go either way. The third of the 2 p.m s we've got is Dure against Aika. So Dure drew 2-2 last weekend against Shorrockshire, a result that extended their winless run to 4 games, so 2 draws, 2 defeats. However, with the Shielfolk drawing and Page losing, they managed to maintain their 8th place in the table, so no ill effects of not being able to get the 3 points last weekend. Dure, however, have the 3rd worst current home form. They've picked up just 1 win in the last 5 home games, and currently, are struggling for form at home, struggling to get wins. So again, home side sitting in 8th position in the table, but not a guaranteed stick-on home victory here. A victory, however, in this game is one that potentially you would say they would be favourites to get, and it's one that if they could manage it would certainly give the season a bit of a shot in the arm. Should Dure win the game, They potentially could rise up to 6th position, but that obviously depends on the results of Nyíregyháza and Siófok as well. But it would could also help to put a little bit of distance between themselves and Pécs and Dorog, the sides directly below them. Defeat and they get sucked into that mid-table area where things are very tight and congested. A couple of defeats in a row, and you could easily be pulled into a bit of a relegation fight. So it's a vital game for Dure that they will be looking to get all 3 points from. Excuse me. Visitors Ica come into this fixture with what for them would be a rare, happy feeling, having tasted victory for the first time in 9 games last weekend against Pécs, thanks to Balint Gal's goal, the only goal of the game. Gal is the top goal scorer for Ica this season, having scored on 7 occasions, which is his most prolific season since 2016-17, when he also scored 7 times for Haladáš in a league called the NBII, whatever that is. Ica will be looking to him again to be the main goal threat today, and they'll be hoping to carry that form into this match and look to get a second successive win. Harmadik Kerelet against St. Lawrence, one of the other 2 PMs now. So Kerelet picked up a fairly unexpected 3 points last weekend away to Haladáš, thanks to a 1-0 victory there. Haladáš games really are not exactly well known for being goal filled. They have a problem in front of goal themselves. The games tend to just be single goal matches, and last weekend they couldn't find an answer after Kerelet took the lead. Defended well, Kerelet, and saw the game through for a 1-0 victory, which was a result that took them out of the relegation zone and actually lifted them up to 15th place in the table. But with only 6 points separating 12th to 20th, you can really see just how congested that area of the table is, as I mentioned just previously. So for them, they will also want to carry that momentum of a rare victory into this match against St. Lawrence. Harmadik Kerelet have lost just 1 of the last 5 matches, however. So 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 defeat. But have recorded only 1 win in the last 5 games at home. So they will be looking to turn that around. As I say, if they can bring the form that they showed last weekend into this match, they should have a fighting chance at least against a St. Lawrence side who are sitting in mid-table in 11th position. St. Lawrence beat Békés Csaba at home last Sunday, but they've picked up just 1 point from their last 5 away matches. So again, mid-table, good home form, but away from home where they played today, their form has been very patchy of late. So again, this is another game where it really could go either way, which I think is the joy and the beauty of the NB2, that there's so many matches that you look at, and it's very difficult to pick a clear winner because all the sides are very evenly matched. Victory here today for Harmadik Kerelet would be one that could again see them rise another couple of places up the table, and if they can build that momentum of a few wins in a row at this point in the season, it could be huge for their survival chances. St. Lawrence, one of the sides I think who will most likely end up being safe come the end of it, but again, victories at this point are the ones that can really make a big difference as to just how comfortable the run into the season ends up being. Nyíregyháza versus Sorokshar as one of the other 2 PMs. So Nyíregyháza, as we noticed last weekend, it kind of looked like a new team since the turn of the year. Tamás Fecsko finally kind of implementing his tactics and system in the team and seeing a turnaround in results. However, they did draw last week against Budaörs, which put an end their kind of run of 3 wins in a row. So Sorokshar is a game that could be a very welcome match actually for a side that's looking to get a win again, to get back on form. Sorokshar games, as we noticed, always include goals. There was 4 last weekend in the game against Dure. I think there was 6 the week before. They play a very open attacking game. They play on the front foot, very offensive, but very weak defensively, having conceded 46 goals so far in their 14 games. Only Tisakec have a worse defensive record than them. So Nyíregyháza, who are generally fairly tight at the back, for them they've conceded 29 goals this season. Not always the most prolific going forward, but you imagine as the home side they should be able to manage this game fairly well. I expect goals because I always expect goals when Shorrockshire play, but I think this is one that Nyíregyháza will be more confident that they can take the full 3 points. They're unbeaten in their last 4 games at home. However, Shorrockshire are unbeaten in 3 of their last 5 away games. So again, not as straightforward as all that, but Nyíregyháza must be going into this game as favourites to win it. Page versus DVTK. Probably the most straightforward of all the games this weekend. I can't see past DVTK, to be perfectly honest with you. Page are a tough side to beat at home. They don't concede very many goals, don't score that many either. But generally, they're a tough nut to crack at home. So it would give them a fighting chance in this game. But DVTK have just been relentless in their efforts to secure that immediate return back up to NB1. As we noted at the top of the show, they've dropped only 4 points from the last available 30. So they're just in an incredible run of form at the moment. They showed great resilience actually last weekend to come from 2-0 down against Solnock. As I said, 2 down within half an hour, got the game back to 2-2 and then won it in the second half. And once they got their noses in front, there was never any doubt of where that game was going to finish. And while I think it will be a tough match in Page, I really can't see past DVTK picking up the 3 points. The 3 points that they know could give them an 8-point lead over Vasas going into Vasas's game on Monday night, which would be a huge psychological advantage to them. And you wonder how Vasas would cope with that. So yeah, Page DVTK to win that one, I would suspect. And then the last of the 2 PMs, you've got Solnock against Chakvar. So, as we just mentioned, discussing the DVTK game, Solnock threw away a 2-goal lead last weekend against DVTK. So you would suspect that that's a bit of a confidence blow for them. However, I think you've got to put that into context for them, that they were sitting bottom of the table. I don't think anyone gave them any hopes of even running DVTK close. So if you're Solnock, you've got to take whatever positives you can from that game. And I think the fact that they scored 2 away from home against the league leaders is something that they can kind of reflect on and be proud of. Not so proud of the fact that they ended up then losing the game. However, at home, Solnock has picked up 5 points from the last 5 home games. They did manage to beat Ica at home recently. And I think generally, in sort of, we look at the last 5 home games as a current form, but if you even look at kind of the last 3 games or whatever, they've started to just pick up results. They're finding form now, and they need to carry that on into this match against Chakvar, who sitting in 13th place, again, very much not out of the relegation threat at the moment. There's only 4 points between Solnock and Chakvar. So this is one I think that Solnock will be up for it, and it certainly will not be an easy game for the visitors, who, did manage to win last weekend, as we noted, against Kecskemét, which was a bit of a shock result given that Kecskemét were sitting up in 3rd place going into that game and were on good form prior to it. So I think we're looking at another close game here. Chakvar will be a side also going into this match full of confidence that they can get another result. Their away form hasn't been particularly good. They've picked up just 2 points from the last 5 away from home. But it's another one of these relegation six-pointers that we're now seeing a lot of at this stage of the season. And I think close match could really go either way. Moving on, we've got the two 5 p.m s, the first of which is Budafok against Shiofok. So Budafok currently sitting in 18th place in the table and Shiofok up in 7th. Budafok, they've been pretty dreadful for the majority of the season. You know, a lot of defeats as they've kind of looking to avoid a second successive relegation. Their form, however, again has picked up in the last few matches. They got a creditable 0-0 draw against Vasas in the Budapest derby, and then they defeated Dorog, their first win in 13 games last weekend. So that's them on sort of 4 points out of the last two games, which will probably be their best return over a 2-game period for the whole season, such as their form being so off up until now. They're now off the bottom spot. They're sitting in 18th position, and they're one win, depending on other results, but one win from actually moving out of that relegation zone for the first time in a long time. So I think they're going to go into this game full of confidence that they can get a result now that they've actually got the monkey off the back of that first win in 13 games. So they'll, as I say, I think they'll have a bit of confidence for this one. Shiofok, though, are not the easiest of opponents to face when you need a result. They have only lost 5 games this season, so sitting in 7th place with only 5 defeats this season. Only DVTK and Vasas have lost less games than them. Shiofok's main issue, the reason that they're kind of as lowly in inverted commas as 7th, is just the fact that they've drawn so many games. I think they drew the first 6 matches of the season. So they're a stubborn opposition. They're tough to break down. They've conceded only 24 goals in their 24 matches, scored only 28. So they're not the most prolific going forward. The games are very tight normally, but it's that kind of fact that they're so difficult to beat that makes them such a difficult opposition. Not always to say the side that's going to win games by much, not the most entertaining of sides, but a tough nut to crack. I suspect that they'll probably get the result today away at Budafok, just given how poor they've been over the course of the whole season. But as we say, Budafok picking up form now makes this another interesting game that generally is kind of too hard to call. My leaning is towards Shiofok, but really I've been wrong in the past, and I could be wrong again with this one. Szeged against Haladas, the final match of the Sunday card. This is a big game, big game for Szeged. They've built up a lot of momentum, good momentum in the last few weeks. They are unbeaten in the last 4 games, winning the last 3. They're up into 3rd place now, moving ahead of Cage Comet last weekend. They've got young Christopher Horvath in kind of on fire and sensational form up front. And at the moment, outside of DVTK, they are the form side in the league and the ones to be watching out for. As they're making now a real stake for 2nd place and promotion to NB1 at the expense of Vasas, most likely. Coming in off the back of a 4-0 win, they will obviously be high in confidence. As I say, the form is very good at the moment. For me, they look a side that's very, very tough to beat and would be favourites for this match. That said, this being NB2, nothing should ever be sort of really viewed as a foregone conclusion. Haladas are unbeaten in the last 3 away games. They've got the meanest defence in the league and the meanest away defence in the league. I think they've only conceded something like 5 or 6 goals away from home all season. So this is not a game that Szeged will expect to go and kind of run up a cricket score in. I think it will be tight. I think it will be fairly low scoring. But I just see that Szeged, as a home side with momentum and in good form, they should be strong enough to come out and win the game. They've also got the carrot of knowing that with Vasas playing on Monday, if they can get the win today, then that would put them 1 point ahead of Vasas and move them into second place, which again just gives them that psychological advantage and puts a lot more pressure on Vasas going into their game on Monday night. Perfect segue into that game. Vasas on Monday travelled to Kecskemét for a match that at the moment is second versus fourth. By the kickoff, it could be third versus fourth. Just depending on how that one goes. In fact, yeah. So it's that's another game that's looking like it's going to be very tight, very close. Vasas, the away side, their form of late has been average at best. Checking the last 5 matches, they've drawn 4 of them. They've won only once, which was away from home, and it was a thumping win against Chakvar. They won 4-1. But there's been the last, they've lost. Sorry, not lost. They've drawn 3 games 0-0 recently. So there was a 0-0 against DVTK, 0-0 against Shiofog last weekend, and the one that's in between that was the game against Budafok. So their issue of late has been a lack of goals. They've hit 41 over the course of the season so far. They've conceded only 17, so defensively fairly solid. But now recently up front, games that they had been sneaking 1-0 wins in or 2-1 wins, they're now drawing 0-0. So there's a lack of real goal threat there, which makes you wonder why somebody like Adam Balaiti, who is of course the hero of NB2, cannot get into the squad. Balaiti averages a goal contribution, so either a goal or an assist every 90 minutes that he plays over his career with Vasas. Incredible that he can't get into the team at the moment, and he's a player that, if called upon, you would like to think would have a positive impact on the team. But yeah, going into the game against Kecskemét, Vasas' form is very poor at the moment, very average at best, as I said. Kecskemét, the home side, need this win to reignite their season, or certainly reignite their promotion campaign. Kecskemét have punched above their weight massively this season, sitting in 4th place at the moment. Incredible for a side that technically shouldn't be in the division, as they didn't even win their NB3 league last season. They were seen as pre-season relegation fodder. They've been a breath of fresh air to the league, sitting in 4th place. But they've lost the last 2 games, and they've lost with that then quite a bit of momentum that they'd built up. Excuse me. A third defeat would be their worst run of the season, so a third defeat in the row would be their worst run of the season so far. Should Haladas manage to beat Szeged, it's a result that could see them drop down to 5th place in the table. So you'd just like to hope, from their perspective, that they can, that they could get the win against Vasas, get themselves going again, and have ourselves a proper, if not proper, title challenge this season, as DVTK do look too strong. If we can get Kecskemét back involved, and we can have a proper battle for second place between themselves, Vasas and Szeged, and obviously can't rule out Haladas at the moment. But yeah, it's massive for both sides. We will give this one, of course, the kind of Monday Night Football treatment with its own blog post, which of course you can check out at nb2hungary.wordpress.com. And we will check in again next week when we'll look over the fixtures for Matchday 26. I hope you've enjoyed this run through of the Matchday 25s. As I said last time, we will get better at presenting these, but comments and feedback would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. Go and enjoy your NB2.